Do you ever look at other women in deeply fulfilling relationships and wonder, why can't I have that? Well, first of all, she might have already listened to this episode of the Pleasure Principles podcast. Do you ever feel a sense of shame for wanting more? Do you look around at your life and you think, okay, I have so much. I've worked so hard to get to this point, to have what I have, to have the freedom that I have, but it feels empty. It feels hollow. I feel stuck. It lacks joy and fulfillment. I had a 5-minute orgasm the other day, and it gave me some downloads. Want to tell you about it, want to share some things. So, super women, you have mastery, novelty. You reach new heights in your careers and professional lives every day, but not in intimacy, not in sex. I'm having conversations with super women daily where they didn't even know these things were possible. Multiple orgasms, squirting, giving their partners pleasurable experiences to that their partners say that one experience was worth all of the money. As a powerful woman, you deserve powerful pleasure and fulfillment. And in order to get there, you need to learn pleasure mastery. I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and I help high achieving women who feel unfulfilled and disconnected create more intimacy and joy in their personal lives. We have been taught that doing it all would lead to fulfillment, but it is draining your energy and killing your intimacy. I teach women how to reignite their pleasure, reclaim their feminine power, and feel deeply desired and supported, all while staying successful in their careers. Today, we're talking about embodiment tips for achieving extended, massive orgasms, orgasms that create deeper connection to yourself, to your partner, and honestly, to the universe, to source, to your higher power. If you're successful, ambitious, and you're thinking, I have everything that I wanted, but my personal life doesn't match, extended massive orgasms are for you. So let's start by addressing what so many of my clients, so many super women, high achievers, people pleasers, overgivers feel, but they don't say out loud. It's that nagging feeling of, I have a lot, but very little pleasure and joy to show for it. Does that sound familiar? High achievers often find themselves in what they describe as a relationship of teammates, not a marriage. There's no passion, desire, fulfillment. In the early days, their relationships are alive. They have a lot of hope. There's space, there's mystery, there's anticipation. Even brushing your teeth together or going to bed together is exciting. But over time, the space fades, the routine creeps in. Our superwoman overgiving tendencies take over. We are in control because it makes us feel safe. And we become enmeshed, fall into the familiar, the predictable patterns that leave us feeling stuck, gray, like we're going through the motions. So why does this happen? A lot of this is physiological, and I wrote about it in my book, The Pink Canary. In the early days, our brain is flooded with dopamine, and there's the natural chemical reward and pleasure. But over time, the dopamine rush subsides. The oxytocin, our bonding chemical, takes over, and we trade the fireworks for what feels like a warm blanket. It's cozy, but our day-to-day routine and monotony can dampen desire. So the irony is that so many high achievers are amazing at creating novelty and achieving success in their careers, in their professional lives. So they're rewarded. They get the dopamine hit from doing those things. They take an action and they see success. But what is working and getting you success in your career does not lead to fulfillment in your personal life, and especially not in the bedroom. So today I want to talk about pleasure practices for massive extended orgasms. And I want to let you know that this is even possible. And it is not possible when you are over functioning, over giving, when you are constantly putting out fires all day long and it takes you a week to even relax and feel present, or the only time that you can have sex is on vacation or in a hotel room, or you're having the checkbox sex, the routine. First we do this, then we do this, and then we know what gets each other off, but it is the same and it's boring and we're kind of doing it because we think we have to do it. So these are all signs that the pleasure centers in our brain are off. And what I'm talking about here is what is possible. And I mean life-changing sex, life-changing orgasms. Said it before, but the French call orgasm le petit mort, the little death, when done correctly. And I can guarantee that most of you are not doing this correctly. It's life-changing, altering. Like we're not the same after these sexual experiences as we were before. So many high achievers suffer from what is called anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure, because we are stuck in overdrive. We are always doing, always achieving. Our energy is outward, and we don't know how to receive. We don't know how to feel full. And this is a problem in and out of the bedroom. If that is you and you are nodding along and feeling like, yes, this is me, I need this, I need to go deeper, I want you to apply for the Pleasure Mastery Mentorship. The Pleasure Mastery Mentorship, 10 months, private coaching and mastermind experience, included 2 life-changing retreats that the women that attend say that it is like an entire year of healing, entire year of therapy in one weekend. And we know our superwoman brains, we want the answers. We want it now. We don't want to wait. Once we've identified the problem, we're going to take action to fix it. It's how our high achieving brains work. So this is a space where not only are you getting private coaching from me, but where you can connect, learn, transform with other women that are exactly like you. And yes, we are talking about how to transform our joy, our fulfillment, our intimacy, and have way more orgasms for us, way more orgasms for our partners. If my work speaks to you, I want you to head to the show notes and apply. We start the end of January 2025. And I want this to be the year where your personal life, your relationship matches your professional life, where you embrace pleasure, connection. You feel deeply desired, connected, fulfilled, where it feels safe to let it all go in and out of the bedroom, where it's not just you juggling all the things, wearing all the hats. Head to the show notes. You're going to fill out an application, and you and I are going to get on a call, and we're going to discuss if this is a good fit for you. Do not wait. Head to the show notes and apply. Embodiment tips for extended orgasms. There isn't only actions that we have to take, we also have to change who we are becoming. We have to expand, and literally just the act of being able to hold that much sensation in your body where you can orgasm for that long or an extended period of time is transformational. It requires you to be different, to be an expanded version of yourself. And you might think, oh, that sounds exhausting. Well, not if you are orgasming properly, if you are understand pleasure mastery, sensation, movement of sexual energy in your body, and Taoism, Tantra, they have understood this for centuries. We've forgotten this knowledge and we are so focused on doing. We are in our brains as superwomen, putting out fires, juggling so many roles, prioritizing other people's needs that the pleasure centers in our brain are off. We are not focused on sensation. When the pleasure centers in our brain are off, touch doesn't feel as pleasurable. So if you are that high achieving superwoman, you can't relax, you can't let go, you can't trust, which we're going to talk about next week, those strategies that come along with pleasure mastery, the other side of the embodiment, the feminine embodiment. This is embodiment of pleasure mastery today, but they go hand in hand. And that's why like the basic sex advice out there is not going to work for you as a superwoman. And same with the intimacy, because number one, you desire more, you want more than the average person, which is why you have achieved such success in your life. And because we need to fully understand the nervous system state, the physiology of where a superwoman is at if she wants to have epic sex, connection, intimacy. Most of the advice out there is not for women that have been through what we've been through. It's not for women that hold and accomplish as much as we do in one day. So yeah, you might be thinking that it is exhausting, not when it's done right. And you might be thinking like, well, why do I need that? Or I am so far from like even having desire or wanting to do that. Well, I'll tell you, orgasms are life-changing. They are anti-aging. They help balance our hormones. They have positive effects on pain. It's like natural painkillers. Also, it is believed that when you are orgasming, you are closer to source, closer to a higher power. And I want you to know that this was a pleasure practice for me the other day. It was not something like there was a lot of shit that I had going on. I had lost a diamond earring, which I since have found certain things that I cannot fully disclose yet because it is still in court. But let's just say like things were not all rainbows and unicorn farts over here. I didn't feel necessarily like having a 5-minute orgasm, but I knew that it would be nourishing. I knew that it would give me the answers that I needed and fill me up when my pleasure tank was so drained. My point being, this is available to you and for you, for your health, for your fulfillment, for better relationships. And don't excuse it like, oh, it must be easy for her, because I totally would have thought that before. Okay, so embodiment. We're talking about how to have pleasure mastery. And even if you are in a sexless relationship, I recommend always starting working on these pleasure practices, pleasure mastery. This is internal work that we have to do first before we are sharing it with our partners. Most men, if they are not practiced in Tantra, Taoism, they will not be able to hold the energy of your 5-minute orgasm. Something that we have to do for ourselves first, and then we can share with our partners. My tips for extending your orgasm, expanding your orgasm. Number one, pelvic floor sensation. Most of us are walking around totally disconnected from our pelvic floors. Our pleasure centers are turned off. Our vaginas are numb. Some of us have pelvic pain. That was me. I had pelvic pain for probably 10 years. I was like literally a tight ass. We need to get in the habit of feeling our pelvic floors. What does your labia feel like right now? What do your vaginal walls feel like? What about your cervix, if you have one? We should be able to check in and feel the sensation there, just like if I said, what's the sensation in your elbow or your hips? So getting in the practice of checking in, finding that pelvic floor sensation. I have meditations, I have steps to do this in my paid programs. And you could just start taking the time to check in and probably can't even connect with that part of your body because we have been so systematically disconnected from it. And if you cannot do these basics, you will not be having 5-minute orgasms. The second tip is pleasure pulsing, where we are going to practice surfing our arousal levels. So this involves bringing yourself close to climax and then stopping and letting the sensation kind of dissipate before you start up again. And you can repeat this cycle several times, which can intensify your eventual orgasm. And when you learn that orgasm's more like a wave that you're riding, your pleasure is a wave. And I like to teach it on a scale of 1 to 10. And when we're talking about extended orgasms, full body orgasms, we're riding between like 8 and 10, the wave of between 8 and 10, where you are still orgasming. And 10 is like peak pleasure experience that you've ever experienced. And if you're orgasming for minutes, it's not going to be a 10 the whole time, but you'll learn how to ride that wave, that pleasure pulse between an 8 and a 10. And the better you get at this, the more powerful your orgasms are going to be, the more satisfying, the longer they're going to last. And the third thing is slow it down. Extended orgasms, full body orgasms, they're not about speed, they're about presence. Presence with high sensation, your ability to be present with pleasure. And we know that the pleasure centers are off in your brain, Superwoman. And usually people are rushing towards climax. We're trying to check that box. We're trying to get there. We're tensing our whole bodies. And extended orgasms are actually the opposite. They're about building pleasure gradually. They're about slowing down. They're about taking breaks and focusing on sensation along the way. This gradual buildup not only allows our pleasure centers to get fully turned on, allows us to get fully aroused, and it's enhancing sensitivity, which allows our body to stay in this heightened state for longer. And I promise you, this is a skill. This is a skill that you learn and you master. It's like a muscle that you have to train. The problems that you're going to be able to solve, the answers that you will get, what you will be doing for your health, what you will be doing to fill your pleasure tank when you learn this, I cannot even tell you. So if you're ready to master your pleasure, and even if these tips, if you are trying them and they are not working, you need more support, and that is okay. It's hard for us as superwomen to take the capes off and say, hey, I am struggling here. I don't want to do this on my own. I want a personal life, relationships, a sex life that matches the success that I have gotten to in my career. And if you want to do that in community with a group of women that will be friends for life, head to the show notes and apply to the Pleasure Mastery mentorship. Cannot wait to chat. And happy pleasure pulsing. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.